Nitin, thanks a lot for taking the time to do this session with us at Ops Matters. I think it's an interesting one, that we try to cover every now and then, talking with different folks, especially folks who've both had a long career in an ops intensive business, apart from also, being a founder and building something. So it'd be excellent to sort of understand, how you think about ops as a key lever for growth, how you think of all of these things such as operations excellence, scale, customer success, right? Customer love in the context of a business like financial services with, elements such as risk, regulation, various things that have to be kept into mind. But with that, why don't we launch very quickly into, a brief sort of background on your career journey, and then looking a little bit more specifically at what you've been doing at Navadhan over the past few years, what motivated you to decide to build, and maybe a little bit of background and context setting for the audience on what the business does. So we'll hand over to you and take it from there.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Rohit. Pleasure meeting you and the folks here. Let me just take the screen and put up a small deck, which will help us, kind of not let people get too bored of looking at my face, perhaps. Uh, if that's okay. So is my screen shared now?
Yeah, perfectly. Please do go ahead. This is awesome. Thank you so much for this.
No pleasure. So, just to introduce myself, since you mentioned, first we need to tell us about our journey. I have been in financial services space for almost 25 years now, largely in lending businesses at the inflection point of mass markets impact and where credit makes the biggest difference, which is in retail and SME lending segment. As you know, India being, a developing country, that's where the highest impact comes in. In this journey, amongst the other roles that I have managed earlier, I was CEO for Spandana Spurti in two different stints and was deputy CEO for a firm called Ashwa Finance. Now, just to give a little background of the firms, Spandana was one of the largest microfinance institutions way back about 15 years ago when I was the CEO there, and went through a massive credit crisis. Now, when I say credit crisis, lending industry goes through cycles where there are occasions when the performance of the credit or performance of the loans that they give go bad, and times they are good. Now, the big differentiator between various people in financial services is the fact that if you have managed a cycle, if you have experienced a cycle or not. So just to give a few examples, 2000 before the year 2000 began, 1998, 1999 was a period when there was a big question mark on NBFCs as a model for credit provision. That's when the industry went through some trouble. Then there was a little bit of an over leverage 2007-8 when there was a downturn in the economy. You must have been very young, Rohit, but gray hair on in here would I would like to underline that these are some of the very important experiences or events which allows you to learn from the past and therefore build your operations for the future. Similarly, now 2025 is another leverage linked cycle we are going through. In between, we have had multiple cycles. So Spandana gave me an opportunity to be at the forefront of one such cycle, but it's largely a microfinance firm. Ashwa Finance was a venture debt and an SME lending firm. And I worked in a couple of other organizations and then founded Navadhan along with my three other co-founders about 6 years ago. I'll stop here for the moment and back to you.
No, thanks a lot for that, Nitin. And maybe, as we move into the questions and talk a little bit about these different things through context of your experiences, would perhaps also be interesting for folks to know briefly, what you've been building at Navdhan over the last 6 years. What's the motivation? Why do this? I think that'd be fantastic as well.
Sure. So Navadhan is a fintech platform which links the lenders on one side with the rural small businesses on the other side. And why is the need for such a platform? It's because rural small businesses are generally underserved. So they may have banking, but they do not have formal cash flows and documents for the formal institutions to step in. So they largely rely on informal sources of credit. And very important for the economy and for the nation to grow is to let the that part of the middle part of the economy to also come up. Largely digitally, I wouldn't say excluded, but less included. They are kind of an aspiring set of people. So we are building a specialized platform which allows us on one side to service this customer segment, on the other side, make it work for the lenders to come in and participate in this asset class, because we originate loans for them, we service the customers, we do the collections, we do the whole customer life cycle, and lenders can plug and play into our ascent tech platform and participate in these markets. The whole idea is to leverage on the India stack and see how India stack can work for not just the urban class, which is digitally fully included, but also with a class of people, which is a large population, which could be brought into the mainstream.
Got it.